Hey you all, how you doing? It's Marcus Johnson, the founder of Flow Wine, Flow Music, and Flow Brands. And we have been talking over a bunch of different sessions about following the deeper model. And I talk about that more from a professorial role. But today, I'm going to bring in more of my music experience and how I kind of pull things together for peace. And the idea is this is called a musical introduction and a few ideas as it relates to how to create musical piece and some musical genres that may actually help you to get there. Now, why is this important in my deeper model? Remember, deeper is dream, engage, environment, plan, execute, and reflect. Hopefully everything that you're doing in your lives leads you to a point of reflection and peace. People, one of my mentees the other week, or actually a couple days ago, put up a post and it was like, what is happiness to you guys? And, there were a bunch of different answers. And what I did was I actually went in and I went back to him and I was like, look, man, all of the wisdom books that we have, whether it's the Bible, the Torah, books of enlightenment on or from, Buddhists, the Quran, they don't necessarily talk about happiness, but they talk about peace. Buddha talks about the idea of being present, which allows you to be peaceful when you understand that the concept of impermanence, the fact that nothing is permanent. Stick with right now. If you stick with right now and your truth, then you can be peaceful. And for me, peaceful is the goal. It's of the reflection process. And actually, peace is kind of the goal of the entire deeper process, because your dream should be something that is your truth of who you are. And when you're dealing in the truth of who you are, you're engaged in it, you put a fertile environment around you to help you get there. You put a written plan together so that you are able to achieve these goals. You absolutely should then, after you execute it, get to a reflection point of achieving your truth. Here's where I am. Here's where I want to be. How did I do during this, particular part of it? And how am I going to continue on, right? Now, I believe that you can have reflection and peace in each one of these spaces. And so the idea was brought to me, well, Marcus, how do you use music in order to achieve a level of peace in dreaming? Well, that's pretty easy. I get to a place, I set aside some time, I try to get as quiet as possible, and then I allow peace to happen. And there's some genres of music that we're about to talk about that help me kind of get there. And there are different options for us. I tried to do something really unique and fun as it relates to the genres and the people that, we have that are a part of the, landscape of African American music producers or those of the diaspora that, fit this kind of meditative, peaceful, instrumental vibe. And then we'll go through some ideas of maybe how to use even. You see peace and purpose, peace, purpose, and flow, Brazilian chill. And that's the whole concept of using the technology that's out there to actually, put a playlist together that is yours. Everything now is for you. It allows you to do you and be you. So let's get into it and let's take a little bit of an advantage of it. So number one, setting everything up. There's the idea of let's put together some ideas of, again, what peace is. There's the idea of being at a point of meditation. The idea of being present, in the present. The idea also of being mindful. And this goes across, again, no matter who you are. This is not going against any kind of your religious beliefs. I do get questions sometimes of like, well, Marcus, you talk about mindfulness. Are you talking about prayer? Yes and no, because some people don't look at it as just prayer. It is being present, getting away so that you can connect to your higher power, God, or your higher power, Jesus, or connect to the ether so that you can, work closer towards the idea and concept in Buddhism of nirvana. But you can't do it if you're not present. And imagine the fact that this also carries over into your business and personal relationships. Before your meetings, are you finding peace? Before you get up and get going for the day, are you taking 10 seconds to find peace and being present? Well, how do you do that? Well, we're going to talk about it in music, but really they talk about it through the ideas of breathing, mindfully walking, mindfully thinking. And that's as simple as a practice of getting away, taking a deep breath, closing your eyes and saying, thank you, God, on the release. Thank you, Lord, for what I have on the release. Thank you, higher power, for all I have on the release. No matter how bad it is, not praying for things, being thankful for things. That allows you, I think, to be mindful, because when you're praying in petition, like, dear Lord, please do this for me, help me with this. Not that you shouldn't challenge, not that you shouldn't ask for it, but you're in the future. What I'm saying is part of being peaceful is having your truth right here, right now, to understand that right now is good enough. So meditation, presence, mindfulness, and then the concept, man, of just relaxing. It has been a hard week. It's Wednesday for me right now. And I'm about to pick up my daughter in 45 minutes, and I'm going to have to fight traffic. But this is actually great for me because it allows me to focus and be present on what I feel about mindfulness today. This is relaxing to me. But even after I do this, I'm going to take 5 minutes before I get in my car, and I'm going to sit back, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to be thankful for what I have as I get ready to battle that crazy traffic in Washington, D.C., and go pick up my daughter, who is going to be like, Daddy, I haven't seen you in a week. Hey, how was Thanksgiving? Can we go to your office? Can we stop here? Can we get that? Now, I'm not complaining about that, but that does not necessarily give me peace. You know what I mean? That is something that actually gets me engaging and electrifies me and triggers me in positive ways. Of, okay, baby, we haven't seen each other in a little bit. What can we do? What did you read? How do you do it? Et cetera, et cetera. Now, let's get into the idea of what we can do musically. Many people may jump directly to concepts of jazz. Hey, Marcus, I'm going straight into instrumental jazz. That is my relaxation piece. Others do smooth jazz, and the idea is that it is the frequencies. It's in that mid-range frequency, the low-end bass, the doom, 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 with the high-end, tss, 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 all that together leads to a level of relaxation. Now, I think there's some artists that are a little bit more relaxing than others. I always go to the 60s and late 50s with Miles Davis and Kinda Blue and Someday My Prince Will Come. And there was just something that was in Miles's music that allowed us to escape. It was, they called it cool jazz, but really it's mindful jazz. It was very deliberate. There's one song, and Someday My Prince Will Come, where he's actually performing, and if you get deep into it, he does a lick, and then you can hear him kind of creak back in the chair. Like, I just played that lick, now I'm gonna chill. That is relaxing from a musician standpoint, but for us to actually be mindful enough to hear that, Miles does this lick, and he goes, and then you hear it creaks back, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And actually, since we're live now, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find that, and we'll come back to this. Let's see, Miles, Someday, My Prince, Someday, My Prince Will Come. There it is right here. Let's see. Let's see. I can do that reel again. I'm gonna play that. It, did you hear that? That means that that man was sitting back in a chair like me, like this right here, doing this, making hits in a place of relaxation. I mean, that's something that we can take to have the you know, people say that Miles had, an ego, he was weird, etc., etc. It was just that he was special and he was bold for his own piece. I'm gonna do me. And we talk about it all the time. That creak in that chair right there is doing me. So, number one, straight ahead, Miles Davis. And when you go in these subsets, and I'm using Spotify right now, you can find people that sound like Miles. You can even put that into Google, jazz trumpet players that sound like Miles, and people would be like, nobody sounds like Miles. Then maybe you might want to try to hear a guy named, Red Rodney from back in the day. Or what about a Roy Hargrove or Wynton Marsalis? These guys that were master trumpeters. Use your technology. And that's straight ahead jazz. Bass, swinging, or just that one was a ballad. Then there's smooth jazz. And there's a guy I would love for you to check out. His name is Marcus Johnson. That's me. And you can do music like Marcus Johnson. A lot of times you'll see in smooth jazz, especially the newer artists, you'll see a lot of covers. You'll see kind of an urban tinge to it. And people use smooth jazz behind their computer or on their computer while they're working. It allows them to escape and to keep them flowing in a different particular direction. They also use it on the way home because it's not put you to sleep music, especially if you get the right artist. Now, there are some that will, I would argue, make you, but there are others out there. Julian Vaughn on bass. Marcus Anderson on saxophone, Lynn Roundtree on trumpet, where when it's 60 degrees outside and above, and you want to put the sunroof back and the windows down and your chair back, these are great folk that you can listen to. Now remember, this is all in the idea of finding peace. And it's not necessarily just escapism. I'm putting this on to escape. That to me is something different. That is taking you away from being mindful. This is bringing you right here. I'm enjoying every single beat of this music. I'm enjoying every single note, hearing the vowels of the trumpet on Miles's trumpet as he continues to move on. That is very important to understand here. I don't want you necessarily just going away to another place, especially when you're at work, especially when you're driving home. When you're home, as you set your goal in your tone, maybe escapism is something that you need, something where you can connect in a way that allows you to disconnect. I am so mindful in this quiet, in this space of meditative music, which is the next genre that we're going to talk about, and meditative music, that I can actually fall asleep. Now, Marcus, what do I do? Man, this could be as simple as asking your Alexa or asking Siri to play meditative music. There is, as I've created these playlists in Peace, Purpose, and Flow, we have a spa, which is like what I think is our meditative kind of relaxation kind of vibe. We also have meditation here, which I put Deepak Chopra. And the reason I did is because you have these 2-minute segments that allow you to think on the idea of your daily affirmations and acceptance, understanding what that is. Now, that's not instrumental music, but it's a genre that allows you to get a level of peace and healing. And by focusing in on the words as much as possible, you're able to become present, and that lets you be mindful. And when you're mindful, your body is in a healing state because you're not thinking about the million trillion things that you have to do as soon as you get done with this. I'm not thinking about my daughter and the things that she needs, or stepson or significant other, and what we're doing there. We're talking about peace in terms of being able to connect to the universe, being able to connect to our higher power so that we can then get healed, restore, and continue on our deeper journey. It never separates from deeper. This is all part of your dream. It's all part of your truth. Healing, being restorative, reflecting, getting away, resting. These types of music allow you to do that. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into, playing a lot of music, but I want you to know that you can actually go to marcusjohnson360.com/peace and purpose, and you'll see these playlists here. So we have peace and purpose, flow meditation. I'm going to play a little bit. Okay, so Marcus, I think you're crazy. I'm not listening to something like that. That doesn't give me peace. Cool. It does give somebody peace, right? And this is a whole idea of giving you suggestions. I tell you though, if you listen deep into this playlist, and I'll continue to add more songs into it, it's gonna give you, like, you may find one day where you're like, what was that acceptance thing of myself? What have I been telling myself? And as you go down the deeper model and you're looking at engagement and you're looking at reflection, what are you telling yourself as to how you executed in the deeper model? Are you accepting of yourselves? We talk about dreams and we talk about intimacy and we talk about the David Richo concepts of the 5 A's: acceptance, appreciation, allowance, affection. And there's one more that I can't think of right now, but like, again, acceptance is one of the 5 A's that allows you to be intimate with other people. But there's this new term popping around talking about reparenting, right? Your idea of you're reparenting yourself. Are you providing yourself the 5 A's, including acceptance? Well, if you aren't, you don't know how to get there. In 2 minutes and 12 seconds, once or twice a day, once or twice a week, you can pop onto the Peace and Purpose and Flow meditation playlist and get a little insight into it. And then just sit back, listen, and be in it. I am cool with me. I am cool with who I am. I am cool with where I am in life. And it is okay, no matter where I want to be, I'm cool with right now because I have to be in order to go ahead with peace. Now, you can go ahead in an antagonistic way or being triggered. I'm going to let triggering, get me to where I'm going. That ain't peace. That's not what I see for you. But I do see you looking at the idea of empowerment, the idea of accepting who you are. And these playlists help you set that up. How can you talk about you're cool with yourself and not find peace? I'm cool with where I am no matter where I am, and not be peaceful. And then we have the spa as well. Spa music is another, another slower tempoed like music. And it's funny because peace seems to be at a vibration of, a little slower vibration than quote unquote happy or energetic, right? Peace is even your breathing, your frequency is a little bit slower. Man, even if you do that before you open the door to go in the house, open the door to go in the office, open the door to get ready to, to go to the gym and work out, it has some restorative properties, right? And that's why they play this type of music when you go to get a massage. It's a certain type of music that they play when you go to get some spas, when you go to get a manicure or a pedicure. Very important for you. You set the stage. People discount arts. And I laugh at this because there are so many doctors that come to me and say, Marcus, I play your music when I'm in surgery. Well, if my music gives your doctor peace, don't you want him or her playing that? I would say, yeah. And that's the piece to set the environment around you. And, I'm thinking about this as we're talking about deeper. And maybe it also is setting the stage, the environment around you is the music that you put on. and we talk about the people, persons, places, things, and ideas, maybe the idea is more of a kind of cerebral, intellectual property concept of music and its protection. This is why art is so important. And this is why, yes, you can, and your kids can change the world with performing arts and visual arts. It's imperative that we look at it that way. And all that came out of me talking about peace with spa music and the rhythm and frequency at which we operate. So we've looked at a little bit of straight ahead jazz. I'm not going to do a playlist, maybe later if you ask me and you want it, I'll do something with the straight ahead playlist for you in smooth jazz. Those are readily available. But one of the things that I was able to find was African American classical piano players. And one was named, I think it's Andre Watts, and the other is a gentleman with the last name of, I'm going to try and pronounce this right, Chevalier de Saint Georges, right? And, he came from a family, and this is like back hundreds of years ago in Europe. And when you talk about Chevalier being a last name in de Saint Georges, that is probably the city from which he came. And I was listening to this, and let me see which one I would like to get into. Now, I wish I had a more technological setup, and I'm working on that right now to get this in and I can talk of this. This is someone from the African American diaspora, Joseph Boulognier Chevalier de Saint Georges. Did you know that? I had no idea. And let me tell you something. How do you find peace in music genres? Let me tell you, the actual search for peaceful music actually brought me peace and education. I really had no idea that there was a well-known, very highly lauded European person from the African diaspora in France that actually did European classical music as a composer with the names of Liszt and Mozart, etc., etc. That's on us. That's on me. I'm glad I found it. I'm glad I did the Google search, but I'm not special. You can do the same thing. But the process and then listening to this was funny. I put this on, and then I started doing some other work, trying to get my technology set up together for this and another podcast I have to do. And before I knew it, it was like 15 minutes later, and this particular concerto is 11 minutes, right? The one I was listening to was 23 minutes later. Not escaping, but setting the environment that gives you the peace to move on. It's like an escalator or a jet stream. If you fly and you're in business, you know that it takes less time to get from the West Coast to the East than it does flying from the East to the West, because the jet stream goes west to east. So when you're on that escalator, you get that extra boost of the jet stream. That's what peace allows you to do. Peace provides you the vehicle. If you do things with peace in your soul, in your body, you're able to move that much faster along your jet stream towards your deeper goals. And for me, peace, purpose, and flow classical, man, that was something I'm going to talk to Munson about. But like, oh my God, that's amazing. Another guy, like I mentioned, was Andre Watts. That is another classical person that you should check into. Now, this next one you're gonna like, because it's chill and lo-fi, and a lot of people found this very peaceful during the pandemic. And I'm gonna play something a little bit in the background by me. This is a tune called Candlelight. this, right? So you have candlelight going on with like one of my candles, a Flow candle, with my wine brand, a Chardonnay or a red blend. It's snowing outside. You have a fireplace, so your fireplace is on your screen with the crackle in the background with this going on at the same time. That sounds like therapy and peace to me, right? So during the pandemic, they have this chill hop raccoon and the chill hop girl, and or lo-fi girl. So it's lo-fi music because our samples aren't high fidelity. They're kind of old samples. They're kind of gritty, but it has a nice little beat to it. Tunes like "What Does It Matter" that I also have on here. They just set a tone for you to not have to listen to what may pop up and get above your noise level, right? It's just, it keeps your rhythm like this. And that's really the goal of this stuff, man. Now, you can also, like I said, you can catch Peace, Purpose, and Flow lo-fi. And I haven't gotten to the last genre yet, but I'm going to put this on here too. And it's going to be Peace, Purpose, and Flow natural sounds. Well, what do you mean there? My lady and I go to sleep every night to water sounds and or rain sounds and or white noise. I'm on travel all the time. So one of the things that being human does is it raises levels of protection. Our brain is out here to protect us. And so with that, you can play white noise that reminds you of home, or rain sounds that remind you of home, or any kind of natural sound that gets you to your feeling of being back at the crib. And on a late night, if it's too quiet, sometimes with your brain going this fast, pulling something that's white noise, or they even call it brown noise, and putting it on repeat, or asking Alexa, or asking, Siri. You can ask things like Google. They'll do it for you. You just need to be engaged and have the first step. And this is a deeper model too. Hey, my dream is peace, right? Let's go all the way back here. My dream is peace. I don't need to sign a contract for that, but I'm going to tell you that I'm looking for it and I really want it tonight. My environment is my phone and a speaker, maybe a glass of wine, a candle, and my phone and or iPad and or any other type of technological, your TVs now, right? And I'm just going to sit back, and I am then going to, in my plan, I'm going to say, hey, look, play so-and-so, play classical, please play music by Joseph Chevalier de St. George, or instrumental R&B, instrumental gospel, classical lo-fi chill hop. And then you do it. And then after that, you reflect on it and breathe through it. Be present. That's what we're talking about as it relates to peace. So, I really do want to go back and reiterate the idea that the act of finding your own playlists and creating them, which is pretty simple. If you go here, and I may try to add this in, but right now I'll speak it in. If you go into the create playlist on Spotify, upper left-hand corner, up in here, right there, and then you go over here, and it's my playlist 28. You double click on that, or click on it once, and then we're going to call this your playlist, your peace playlist. Save. It's you. Better than this. Let's find something for your playlist. Then you look at that and you go, what does it matter? Marcus Johnson. That's even simpler. An ad. That's the easiest way to do it. And you use these search functions. And, like I just did that, I could take that out of the video. I'm not going to, because all of this is a learning process. And I don't want you to think I'm perfect at this. I found out how to use this stuff over time. And my lady is pretty significantly younger than I am. And, we'll say about 8-10 years. And so she tells me things about my phones and things like that all the time, man. So enjoy the process. Man, part of using music to find peace is being open to the idea that you can find peace. Some of us are committed to craziness. As I was doing this process, I looked up people similar to Deepak Chopra, and I came across Eckhart Tolle and something he did with Oprah Winfrey. Then I scrolled down a little bit, and it was a recording on addiction, and he said there's a rampant addiction going on right now. And I was like, dang, let me go and let me hear a little bit more. I said, we're addicted to thinking. I was like, I never ever heard of that before. But you know what? We are. We're not committed to peace. We're not committed to growing. For those of you all who are even here, you're committed to learning, and then you're committed to going out there, and you're committed to deeper and deeper, and we're going to dream and engage and have a great environment and plan and execute and reflect, and we're going to get out there, and I'm going to do it over and over, and I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to do it. Man, I'm tired. And you haven't even done anything. That's just you talking right now, all day, every day, and our brains have learned to do that. It's going like this. We need to retrain it. My deeper model includes peace. My dream about who I am, every part of deeper has a reflective phase on it, but the process itself says, slow down. Take a couple of seconds for yourself, man. Don't run yourself into a wall. That's why you even have the plan. Sit on the plan. It's wrong, but it'll help you when you get lost. Go out there and do it, but you may do it wrong. Guess what? Deepak Chopra and this last thing that we had in this meditative piece, acceptance. I'm cool with the fact that I'm not perfect. Are you? You have to be. And I know you'll get it. And I look forward to working with you on doing this even more. Look, this has been an introduction to genres and an introduction to music and a different kind of concept as setting peace as your kind of foundation, your bed in which you chill, the soft sofa or whatever chair Miles Davis was in when he went back and he creaked. Using that as your intention first to then go get the music through your intention that will allow you to be mindful, and you take that mindfulness and get towards peace. And eventually, man, you look up and guess what? You might even be happy. You might smile a little bit. That is my goal for you. All right, you all take care. It's Marcus again. Thanks for having me at the Peace and Purpose Conference. You'll find the Peace, Purpose, and Flow playlist at marcusjohnson360.com/peace and purpose. As I always say, I love you, I love you, I love you, and always do your flow. I'm Marcus Johnson. You all take care. Peace.